Welcome to another episode of Fans in Motion, the Ultimate Night Ranger Cast. This is part two of You Ask the Questions, We Answer Them. So if you're finding this for the first time, you got to find part one. All right, you got to go back in time, like Huey Lewis and the News said, find part one. And me and Nadelman, my buddy Nadelman, we answer all the questions. Right? How was Nadelman? That was pretty fun, right? Nadelman, good guy. Most of you probably already know him. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up in some future episodes as well. Dave will be joining me and some others, and we'll be talking. Keep an eye out too on all the Fans of Motion pages and Night Ranger pages. There's going to be some new tour dates coming out here soon. What else before you get into part two? Well, let's see here. We got the Eric Levy t-shirts on sale. Go to the page. There's the back. There's the front. Look at that. Perfect. And then you got the Cheap Trick fonts, Fans in Motion. And I got every size of the Dawn Patrol. Look at that. Oh yeah. Fans in Motion, always on tour. Got everything, man. We got everything. Um, yeah. I don't know. What's up? How are you doing? So what do we got laying here? Holy cow, a Night Ranger 8-track. Need to get that back in the archives. Andy Dandy, come here, buddy. Come here. Make an appearance. Appearance before they get on to part one. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Maybe. Andy, what do you think of Night Ranger? What do you think of Night Ranger? He loves him. Absolutely. All right. Without further ado, here's part two of You Ask the Questions. We answer them. Say bye, Eddie. The blind
Bro.
melon. Ever no rain, but
Yeah,
the
yeah, no rain.
Bumblebee girl, she's by herself, and then that would be us. Here's Dave Nadelman going around town in his Brad Gillis Bumblebee jumpsuit. Everybody looking at him, making fun of him and stuff. Man, shit, that's a medium. You should be wearing an XL. And like, I don't care, man. It's Brad Gillis Bumblebee outfit. And then all of a sudden you open up the fucking genie lamp and you're in a world where there's a bunch of us other guys in two small Brad Gillis Bumblebee outfits and a whole bunch of the other ladies in the Brad Gillis Bumblebee outfits. But they all looking fine. You know what I mean, Dave?
I
They
know
look,
what you
yeah.
mean.
And yeah, and we're all there and we're all frolicking, man. The fucking I will follow you and all that other great stuff. And that is what we created. A bunch of bumblebee wearing motherfuckers
Motherfuckers, exactly.
just frolicking to Seven Wishes. Yvette Kimbrell Reeves. I met her in Memphis.
Yeah,
Um,
I've met her before in Florida, one of the shows.
any thoughts of a damn Yankees reunion? Well, as much as I think Jack and Ted enjoy the damn Yankees history and everything, no, I don't think you're going to have a damn Yankees reunion just because, all right, well, you're going to put a lot of people out of work because 75. Well, Ted doesn't really have a crew. He's not really doing much, but 75% of sticks is going to go away at least. Probably more than that. I mean, none of those guys are touring without Tommy. There's not really going to be a lot going on without Night Rangers. Night Rangers not touring without Jack. Carloni's got a better paying gig and a more steady gig with Leonard Skinner. All these bands are totally active all the time. So even one to make a schedule work. So I doubt it. Um, Could there be a one-off? Maybe, but for a tour, a record, no. There's not going to be a damn Yankees um, reunion unless something drastically like fucking Dennis DeYoung wins a new court battle and takes over Styx and fires Tommy or something. I don't know, but no, I don't think there will be. Like I said, I think they um enjoy the past, and I know they like having Ted get up there and jam with them whenever they can, but I don't think there'll be a Damn Yankees um, reunion. You concur?
I agree 100%. I don't think Ted's leaving his hunting grounds. I don't think and what you like you said was true. They're gonna you know, Styx is not gonna stop touring, so Tommy can go and
Mm.
yeah.
And they're just not big enough to where they could do, hey, we're doing 6 dates, Chicago, Las Vegas, like they're just for the money and the
Even
time.
even for even for a one-off show, I mean, they would have to get together, rehearse for that,
A
take
lot
time
of
to that.
a lot of people don't know they did a one-off show in 2004. Technically, their last, I think, all four of them live show. They did Alice Cooper's Christmas Pudding.
Okay, so you're talking 21
Yep,
years ago.
yep, yep. But they did do one. I think just a lot of people forget about it. But yes, unless it was just something campy, kind of like that, maybe where they do. I think they could go in. They could do Coming of Age, Don't Tread, High Enough, Come Again. Um, Still Rockin' America, Renegade, and Cat Scratch Fever Free for All. You get, you do those 8 songs, you make some people happy, and but it would have to be like a charity or something, where it's
Right,
not,
right. Yeah.
something like that. Tim Meyer, why do they not play more from Man in Motion live? I realize it wasn't a commercial success, but it's a great album. Well, Tim, I think you answered your own question. It wasn't a
The
commercial
commercial
success.
success.
Um, Aaron Tyler getting little, little edgy on there. They're too busy playing covers instead. Well, whatever. Um, but um, yeah. I mean, listen. What are you taking out? What are you taking out? What songs from there? I mean, are you gonna play? Why don't they play more from Man in Motion? I mean, we've thrown 3 songs into that. I mean, I love Halfway to the Sun, but you play it.
You got
What
to
are you
take something
what
out.
are you taking out? As much as I'd say take out 4 in the morning. Fucking people love that song. That's why some of them
Top 10
go.
hit.
So yeah, I mean that's just the reason why. Again, I just tell people put yourself in their shoes. You're on stage. Hey, that song where people are fucking rocking, let's take it out and play this song where the 5 people in the front row are rocking. Everybody else kind of looking at each other, fucking going out and getting a beer. Um, Again, fucking wish they would play again, I tell people, you will know when I have enough blackmail on them when they come out and they play that whole fucking record, Man of Ocean. When that comes out, you're like, oh, all right, yep, we fucking Josh knows
Yep.
about what
Josh
happened in
knows about
Topeka.
the, yeah.
Um, Brian Whalen. Hey, hello, Josh. Don't know if my question went through a couple days ago. It did, and I went to answer it and I just forgot. Story of my life. I apologize, Brian. But hey, we're going to answer it right here, right now, 3 hours into the show. Uh, Hello, Josh. I don't know if my question went through a couple days ago. Do you have any update when Kelly Kagi will release his next solo music record? Also, do you know if Night Ranger performing will be coming to Alpharetta, Georgia this summer to perform a live concert? Night Ranger needs to change your set list. Um, well, let's
Go
dive into
backwards.
Night Ranger changing their set list. I don't know if we talked about that too much.
No, no, no.
Brian, listen, you know, they played Touch of Madness a couple weeks ago. All right, let's do Alpharetta, Georgia's Summer to Perform a Live concert. There is a show that's been announced that was Hiawassee or whatever.
Ayahuasca, yeah.
Did I think Ed mentioned the city on the last episode, but it's not been announced yet. So, Brian, go listen to the last episode. If he said Alpharetta, Georgia, you're in luck. If he didn't, right now that was the only other Georgia date on the books, so I don't know what's after that. But
Ayahuasca is in May sometime. If I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
not a lot in Georgia besides Atlanta. Like, you got Atlanta, and then I mean
Yeah.
Atlanta's fucking pretty big, but then unless you're going to Savannah or some of the places on the coast, there ain't a lot there. And to get to the coast ain't easy. Like fly to Savannah. It's like, fuck. You're better off flying to, I mean, it's cheaper to fly to Atlanta and drive, but 2 hours to Savannah, but who wants to fucking do that? Kelly Kagi, solo music. I really don't have an update. Um, Same thing I've been telling you for a while. There's like 7, 8 songs recorded. I don't know, man. It's
Brad's album the same.
fuck a Brad. No, get me started on Brad. Does anybody ask about Brad?
I
Make a
did. I did.
make a note. If no one, well, I want to answer whoever. So make a note about Brad's record. We'll talk about it at the end if no one brings it up. But no update, really, Brian. Nothing new. Um, some talks about different ideas. Like, okay, maybe we release one song at a time, right? Like to me, I brought up, why don't we make a package out of it? Like, you got this track here. Let's make a special edition 45 with a download, and you get the 45 autographed, and maybe we do something else that correlates with the song. 49.99, 45 the autograph, a sticker with just something, right? Cool. And you just do every track as a commemorative 45 with a digital download. I don't know. That's just something I threw out there if you're not going to do maybe release it as a record. But you will know on Fans of Motion. Matt Hatter, if the guys had a chance to rock out with any other band, still together or not, what band would they be? Rock or country? I don't know. You probably know more. Well, I could tell you kind of know who they. I know Brad would have loved to jam with Jeff Beck. Brad's a big Jeff Beck guy. What else? I mean, I can. I guess I'm just. I don't know if this really. I mean, this is me just speculating, right? I just know some of their influences, who they
Right.
liked. I know Kelly was a big Rare Earth fan. I can't remember the drummer's name, but he was a singing drummer. So I mean, not that I don't know if Kelly's ever said I'd love to jam with them, but I just know in the past that was a band we've jammed to. I know I could tell you right now, Jack, Stones. I mean that's fairly easy, but Levy, Levy would be any jazz shit. You know, any jazz going on. I mean Keith Jarrett, I think that's his name. I know that's one of Eric's big guys that he likes. Weather Report. So I know Levy would be all in the jazz world. Kerry Kelly.
He's already played with everybody.
Exactly. You just stole my fucking line, motherfucker. Uh, you know, Kerry Kelly, he'd probably, of all the people you've ever wanted to play with that you've played with them all, who wouldn't you want to play with now? Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's really something I don't have um the answer for. I mean, there's some people talking about who they'd like to see him play with, Alan Jackson or Gretchen Wilson. I mean, we brought up, just bullshitting, Ed and I and maybe the guys. Just I think it's more just me and Ed, and like where cool, like I think we even maybe talked about it as an episode, like a tribute record, right? And get younger like artists. It'd be cool to hear, I don't know, Miranda Lambert do Sentimental Street, or um, and not that you could get maybe even people that big, but you know, Ed Sheeran do one of the ballads. I don't fucking know. I don't even know if I know Ed Sheeran's song. Surprised I know his name. But it'd be cool to hear stuff like that, you know. Um, I mean, what is it? Coheed and Cambria just did a covers record, and they did Sister Christian. So if you want to hear,
Did they really? I
yeah.
didn't hear that.
Now, I'm not a big Coheed and Cambria fan, but
There's that one song.
it's out there. Just released in December. Um, oh shit, rock and roll, Dave.
Yeah,
Jeez,
I know it takes its toll.
9:20 on a Friday. Um, yeah, Matt. Unfortunately, I just don't know. An exact answer on that. Tim Ford probably will go along with Mark Greenaway's question. Any plans for a UK tour in the future or not just a one-off date in London? I don't know. I know there was rumblings about some Europe, but I doubt it would be a tour. It would probably be a few select shows like they've done in the past. Unfortunately, that's all I know, Tim. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bud. I feel for you in the UK, but Night Ranger was never huge in the UK. Hell, I only think they played a couple shows there in the 80s. Um, Mary Griffith. I'm always curious about how being on the road affects the guys and their families. Does it get easier over the years or harder? Um, and Darren, guitar tech, jumped in. Technology makes it easier. FaceTime is a game changer for the touring industry. Definitely. I mean, if you think about, I mean, back in the 80s, payphone,
Payphones, hotel
yeah,
phones.
yeah, and that was it, you know. Um, you're trying to get a hold, I need to go hold a Jack. You probably have a tour itinerary. Where are they at today? It would have, okay, they're at the hotel. But if it's later in the afternoon, they're not at the hotel, they're at the venue. Sometimes you could have, get a hold of them at the venue, but, it isn't like now where you just hit a button and you call them and they're there. So you have that. I can't answer, obviously, for them. I can't answer being in the military. Um, when I first joined in the military in 2000, cell phones, I mean, I think we all think cell phones were around in 2000, and they were, but they were the brick and they were by the minute. I mean, I was in the military, a lot of young people with disposable cash. We did not have cell phones. I mean, you had someone with a brick that paid $3 a minute. It was really about the next year that, okay, you could go buy a phone and you got so many
Many
minutes
minutes. Yep.
and you could, between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., it counted less for some shit, right? So when I first got in the military, it was writing and it was payphones. Us waiting at payphones to call people, or if you in your dorm, you could get like a landline. It was in Iraq, 2004. Well, obviously you had cell phones then, but again, they only worked halfway in the country. Remember you used to have the map of the United States where there was coverage,
Yep. Yep.
and they would
Little
argue,
blotches.
yeah, all right. So obviously they're not going to work when you're in Iraq. So, but again, you have that. I mean, it's not the same, but in the United States, you would have certain coverages, right? Um, but there was no FaceTime. You could call someone on a payphone. If you're in the States, you obviously would have a cell phone. If you're in that fucking plot, you get a hold of them. But that was it. It was a phone call, and we emailed. We would go to an internet bank and email. So back then, you didn't have you might have a laptop, but you weren't connected to anything.
Right. Right.
You
Nothing.
would
Nothing
go,
was.
maybe your hotel had a business center. They still do, but like they got cobwebs on them now. But you would go, okay, back at the hotel, go to their business center and you'd log on to their computer and you'd have internet access. And what I noticed a big change was when I was in Afghanistan in 2013, 9 years later, where those telephone banks were lines and the internet cafes were lines. Those places were empty because now we had Skype and Facebook and not I mean I guess you had the visual part. I don't know if you had the FaceTime then, but you definitely we definitely had where I could call you on Facebook.
Right. Or Messenger. Yeah.
And same with Skype. And even in Afghanistan, we were able to buy like cheap cell phones. And I could call you if I was in Afghanistan, I could call you on that cell phone. So even in 2003, we had that, or 2013, we had that. So I guess if you put it in Night Ranger perspective, I mean, like, I think about like Jack with his kids. Like, you never saw them if you were on the road for 3 months unless they come out. You might talk to them on the phone, but you didn't visually see them.
Right.
And now you have FaceTime and you can see. I mean, it would suck to be a young rock star nowadays, right? Like, hey, honey, I'm checking in. All right, well, I'm gonna go hotel. I'm tired, and then
FaceTime me and show me that you're in the
you're
hotel.
trying to bang 50 chicks, and it's like, so, you know, probably easier back then to be, but that's, and Mary, I would guess, is the difference. I mean, the guys in your family, I would guess now it's easier. I mean, they've been doing this for 40 some years. Um, I guess the question would be Eric. He's got three young kids, but you got the FaceTime and stuff, and you get to make good money. I mean, it's, and I mean, with you think about Eric, okay, I fly out on Thursday, I'm back on Sunday, but I'm with my kids Sunday, and then I don't have to work and be with them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
It's not like you're flying out for a 6 month tour or something,
Correct.
or
Correct. So, and like Darren said, technology makes it easier. Mark Oakley, I loved every song night I have heard by Night Ranger, and I've got to see them a few times recently. I'm going to try to see them as many times as I can. Have they considered adding songs to the playlist so we can hear songs normally don't play? Well,
I'm not
let me
sure.
let me.
But I
This
think we answered that.
this is talked about time to finger the interest. Hear response. I assume the promoters, venues, however, van's been creative. Well, I don't think. I think Gail's saying like maybe the promoters and stuff want it. I don't. I don't think promoters generally, Night Ranger or not, really care what they play.
No,
I mean, this is a business. If if you're Don McLean and you're not playing American Pie, word's going to get around, and you're not going to sell tickets. Uh, so I think Night Rangers got the reputation that they're going to play their hits, and everybody's going to be good. So I mean, Night Ranger could stop playing Sentimental Street, and I think they would be fine. Uh, but again, it's kind of like, do you want to go out there and play stuff that people enjoy, or do you want to play to the 20 hardcores? I mean, the last show I was at, they played Seven Wishes, Touch of Madness, Call My Name, High Road. I mean, go look at some of your other bands and from that era, and they got to have 10 staple songs like Night Ranger does. Are they playing, are they playing that's, the third song off their 1978 record that no one's heard besides the hardcores? I don't know. I mean, I think we've beat that beat that enough. But like I said, I mean, we've been getting Seven Wishes, Touch of Madness, Eddie coming out tonight's been thrown in. I mean, you only got so many, and it isn't like they're going to, they're 70 fucking years old. I mean, they're not going to make it a 2 hour show, um, just so we can hear, Neverland or something. So, Mark, I just go to the shows, have fun. You know, you'll hear they always try to throw something in. Now, listen, if you go to a show and it's at the Canton Fairgrounds, where it's going to be a lot of people, new eyes, right? You're not going to hear Call My Name. You're going to hear Ozzy. You're going to hear stuff because they're playing to new people, and a lot of new people want to hear Ozzy over Call My Name because they don't know fucking Call My Name. They fucking know Ozzy, and you get a lot of cred. Hey, see that guy right there? Played with fucking Ozzy. Plays for Eddie Rose. No shit. Fucking cool. Um, so there's that. I don't know if I um answered Gail, but yeah, I think I did. Ron Crockett, Night Ranger's next album. When? Aaron Tyler, late this year. Tyler's in the know, I guess.
Tyler is in the know.
Fucking none of us know him, but whatever. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah. So I guess you guys just all find Aaron Tyler and
I'll let you know.
he'll let you know. But yeah, Ron, just they're wanting to play as many dates as they can. I mean, right now they're doing good. I mean, this is one of the best times for Night Ranger. They're playing dates. And think about it. Would you rather go out, fucking people loving you and it's fucking great, or would you rather go in a studio, work 3 months on a record that doesn't no one hears? I mean, we hear, but that's it, and goes away. What do you want to do? Put
Truth.
yourself in their shoes a little bit. Debbie Walker Knight. Do the guys and crew get together outside touring from relaxation time? Perhaps a recharging retreat um, type of wellness activities you participate on the road. And then Pam Gramley says, Brad posts about his workouts and stuff. We'll start with Darren's response. I can tell you this is the tightest knit band and crew I've ever been a part of. Brad and I will often have a dinner on a day off, go to a show if it's a festival. It's really like anything else I've been a part of. Um, I mean, I would take Darren's answer as, you know, that's right there is your answer. I mean, that's part of the crew. Do the guys get together outside touring for relaxation? I mean, we talked about on the episode where I was out with them for a week and we had 2 days off and we stayed in Cleveland and we spent the day at Ed's house and had a big dinner and went swimming, drank some beer. Some of them went and got ice cream together. Um, and then the next day, like I kind of, I went and got breakfast with Brad and dinner with or lunch with Kelly. Um, so you have that, but that's very rare to have those 2 days off. So what you got to look at it is these guys are probably the band and the crew are probably together more together than what they are with their families. So if you're playing a Friday and Saturday show, you're working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday basically. So are you going to spend your off days with
When you're just going to see these same people next week, or
correct? So I
and
don't know about that, but yes, when you're out, right? They are, hey, you want to go get lunch, you want to go do this, kind of like what Darren said. um and um just when I was in South Bend with the guys, me, Carrie, and Jack went and got lunch. That was like the first time I ever had lunch with both of them. I was all right, I've had lunch with Carrie and Jack but never together. um and they're always wanting to do stuff, and I mean it's usually maybe a day before a show, if they're flying to airports together, spending time eating stuff, it's like the day of the show, the crew's always busy that, um, but,
so basically, if they're have a day off between shows, they're going to hang out together because there's no one else to hang out with. When they go home, they want to see
yeah,
their family.
but, um, uh, it isn't like when if they got a day off, they're all separating from each other. Generally, hey,
Right.
let's go get dinner or lunch and stuff like that. Um, Mark Greenaway, our buddy in England. Any slim chance a visit across the pond in 25 is on the cards. A one night in London as a warm up before Sweden again would be just fine. Um, I know there's been talks about Europe, but I don't know anything else beyond that. Um, so
I think Mark should just come back here.
yeah, just come back to. Hey, Mark, they're going to be in Indiana. I guarantee it. Come back to Indiana, buddy. I got some HP sauce for you. Um, but yeah, Mark, you'll be the first to know, brother. Gail Romaine. For those of us that spend a large percentage of our household budget on VIP packages. Now, Gail, that's not very smart spending. All right. You need to invest that 401k, 501ks, all the 01ks. That's where your money should be going. I would love to see a change to the dressing room warm up, additional options related to behind the scenes and for prepping for the concert, like a tour bus, sound check, what is involved, audio tech planning, even golf on stage seating. Um, well, listen, I know Gail says, Creed has done a bus tour and three door down, has some bleachers on their stage for fans, just hoping they mix it up crazy, blah, blah, blah. Well, I could tell you the bus thing isn't going to happen. I mean, that's like going into like the men's locker room, right? Where they fucking live. And yeah, just that's not going to happen. And honestly, there ain't nothing to fucking see. I mean, I know, I guess, if I go back to before that, oh, the tour bus, right? It's, I just want to go on a bus tour with them. Like, just, hey guys, I know I'm going to, like in my head, I'm quitting. I'm done with this. I want to beg them, please. My only wish is to be on the tour bus with you guys. And then I'm going to drop a number two. I'm going to get off and I'm going to fly home from fucking Topeka. That's how I'm going
That's
to
your
quit.
swan song, huh?
But no, there's nothing going on. The tour bus just, I listen, you would, if they did it, it would be disappointing. So, plus they're not going to, I mean, that's where that's, it's locked for a reason. That's where they're putting their valuables and stuff in, and you're just not going to, there's nothing to see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Um, so when you talk about other stuff, sound check, they've done sound check, but then you've got to look at the venue. A lot of times that's venue related. Um, can the venue, does the venue have personnel there to handle that? Okay. Um, some venues, if it's outside, you got certain quiet hours. You can't, they've got to be there. Night Ranger's got a sound check at 1. Well, you're going to have a VIP meet and greet at 1 o'clock, and then the show's at 8. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because they got quiet hours between 2 and 7. So that's stuff you do. I think, if they can do sound check, they do it. But a lot of times it's really dependent on the venue. Um, and you got to think of it too. Okay, the doors open at 6:30. If we have them in before that, our insurance policy doesn't cover general public in before the doors open. So you want to, do you have to get through them to pay more? I mean, there's these things you got to think of. Stage seating. Listen, sometimes you get a stage, and you'll see me when I do the live stuff. I'm all over the place, man. You know, and then you get a stage where you walk out, and bam, I'm right on Eric Levy's keyboard. So I think it's just you just
I don't think I would even want to be on the side of a state. I mean,
it's cool, right? I mean, to see watch it from the side of the stage, but I will tell
okay,
you,
it's cool, but I would rather be myself. I would rather be out, you know.
it's cool for like a song or two, I guess if you've never done it. But I mean, I think hopefully sometimes you guys see that when I go live. It's really quiet. They got all in-ear monitors. So all that music's going out. Like I could probably sit here and talk to Ed sometimes, just like this. Like sometimes I'm talking, I got to make sure I lower my voice because you do have to raise it some, but if you raise it too much, they can fucking hear you. Like I know I've talked sometimes, talked to Ed, and I've seen Brad or Carrie kind of like they just hear someone talking, they turn around and look. It's really, really weird. Or if you go to Kelly's side, you just hear Kelly, as you just hear the drums. You don't hear anything else. My fucking pet peeve is I'm up front or I'm on the side, and you get someone during the live feed sounds like shit. Can't hear. All you hear is drums. Who the fuck's mixing this? I'm like, I'm fucking behind the fucking drummer, you dumb fuck. Like this is not about the sound. It's about you're getting a view. It's like, you know what? Just fucking hate people. Um, But yeah, so there's a lot of I mean, you got to think, I'm selling this stuff. Am I selling bleachers on stage? Where am I putting this fucking bleacher? And the dimensions of every single, it isn't like Three Doors Down is playing an arena and every arena has the same damn dimensions. So I can put this bleacher here for every show. You're playing, hey, this theater to this week has been built in 1932. And then this place is built in 2001, and then this other place built in 1802. Yeah, so that's the stuff.
I
So,
know they did like during one of the party gras, they did like the first three songs and they invited, I think it was 12 people. They sold 12.
well, that was Brett Michaels, I think. Well, I mean, maybe they did it for Night Ranger, um,
No, no,
but
because there were people there that were there for the three songs of Night Ranger. Like they were
okay.
there.
Well, couple things. One, again, big venues, same schematics almost every show. Okay, you got the space. Two, that was going through whatever company was handling Brett Michaels stuff, going through them. Night Ranger and Ed don't have to handle that. You've got a bigger company and you've got a huge amphitheater with a shit ton of personnel that work there. You're doing a theater, it's
Well,
volunteer.
this was an outside that I remember they had it.
Yeah.
I think it was Tampa or something during the
Yeah.
party gras. But it
So,
was, yeah.
yeah. So that's the reason. Again, I think a lot of it is just the, okay, I'm going to put a bleacher. A lot of times they don't know if they got enough room for the equipment they got. And now you're wanting bleachers on the stage. I
I
mean,
look on the side there. I don't see there's much room for anything. Like,
so
there's soundboards and there's, whatever's on the side there, but
Michael Spliff.
close enough.
Why is Hole in the Sun album not on Spotify? And Sylvia brings up neither is Mojo. Well, um, um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I probably, I mean, Mojo. I think, I just think in the business world of Night Ranger, okay, people are going to go to Spotify and listen to Night Ranger. You don't want something coming up that doesn't sound like Night Ranger, aka not Jack Blade's voice. All right. I think that's it. I could be wrong. I don't
Makes
know.
sense.
But I think that's what it is hey, we're pushing a brand, we're pushing a legacy brand. We want it all to be Jack Blades and Kelly Kagi vocals. You don't really have to worry about guitars. Is that Jeff Watson? Is that Joel Hoekstra? But vocals play a big part. Hole in the Sun, I couldn't tell you because I mean it's a Frontiers record. Only thing I could think of is maybe the band's not happy with that record. I mean, I guess with Frontiers, I'd be, like, well, Frontiers owns it, basically. It'd be like, well, we don't care if you don't like it. We want to put it on streaming and make money off of it or whatever. Or maybe they got such a good relationship with Night Ranger. I'm just speculating. I don't fucking know. They have a good relationship. Hey, can you take Hole in the Sun off? It's just something we're just not happy with. Yeah, not a problem. I mean, really, I mean, what are they making off of it to begin with, streaming wise? So I that's just guesses. I have no idea. Um, another
Are there
reason,
other albums? I don't listen to Spotify. Are there other albums not on Spotify? Like is Seven on
I don't know.
Spotify?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I listen, if I do listen, I listen to Amazon Music, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Buy physical media. That's all I can tell you. But I do not know, Michael, why Hole in the Sun is not on Spotify. I guess the question to be, is it on Amazon? I'm pretty sure Mojo's not on Amazon Music, but I don't know about Hole in the Sun. Um, but there we go. Scott Brethard. When will they stop playing Damn Yankee songs live and play Night Ranger songs instead? Making Brad play simple Nugent licks is embarrassing. Um, listen, I could say, I'll just say one of the best shows I've ever seen Night Ranger was at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. All right, classic place, great place. Great. And I just remember being out in the crowd, and it was a rocking crowd, start to finish. Right, high enough. They started playing high enough. It went to a fucking another level. I was like, holy fucking shit. And I don't know. I mean, I know we say their cover song was, Jack Blades, Damn Yankees. I mean, I think most of us were like, we love Night Ranger in the 80s. Yay. Night Ranger broke up. Oh, fuck. Damn Yankees. That's Jack Blades. Yay. And it continued on. To me, it's just synonymous. I mean, that's how
Yeah, I
I
don't I
uh,
I don't think of that as a cover tune. I mean, it's
so yeah, they're not going to take out songs. What are you putting in? Restless Kind? So you're wanting to put in the song where everybody's like, yeah, I mean, me and Scott will be going fucking yeah, but the other fucking 990 people there are going to be like, yeah, we had a fucking good time, good Michelob Ultra. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it is, Scott. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know if simple Nugent licks is, I mean, I tell you what, fucking, I mean, listen, a lot of Nugent songs are, but you listen to that fucking first Nugent record, Queen of the Forest. Now, listen, if you don't know Ted Nugent, Queen of the Forest, go fucking Queen of the Forest, Ted Nugent. That's fucking one of the best guitar licks fucking ever, right? When I was seeing them in Michigan back in May, I think I told this story. Walked around the back and was walking around the side, and I knew Ted was going up on stage, but I didn't know he's up there yet. And all of a sudden, I heard this guitar riff. I was like, "Oh, that's fucking Ted." You just knew. So, anyways, you know, fucking Ted's got some of the best riffs, man. Not that simple. I love him. Christy Casey Orman, Jesus, man, You all right, Nadelman? You tired? I'm
No,
tired.
no, 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 no. That was a sort of sneeze.
I remember Nadelman told me, "Hey, this will take about 20 minutes." I'm like,
I
man,
said we can do this in
uh,
6 minutes, but that's okay. No,
fucking
that was mid sneeze. That was a mid yawn.
fucking newbie. Christy Casey Orman, what's their favorite venue to play in Texas, past or present? How come they don't play here as often as they did in the early years? What wild memories they have being in Texas? What can they share? I remember quite a bit of them. I don't know. Again, I just know whenever I post a date on Night Ranger's page, there's someone always on there going, Houston. It's like, hey, and again, I don't get it. Like, you would think a town like Houston, fucking 10 billion people, they fucking, there has to be a fucking thousand Night Ranger fans in there, right? Now, the first show that I ever did with them was May of 21, and it was Houston. Like, so like Houston holds that thing with me. I
Billy
forget.
Bob's.
Well, they played, that was Fort Worth. That's a little bit
Yeah,
up the road.
yeah. The stock
Um,
roads, the
but
stockyards.
um, I saw him at the warehouse. That was where I was at in Houston. But Texas, I don't know. I mean, I do know the story. If you watch the episode with the original crew we did with Frogmore and Sarge and all those
Hmm.
guys, I think they talk about the time where I forget what happened. What was it? The nun? One of the girls dressed up as a nun, and a flashlight, and I
I
and anyways, the state troopers chased him out of town and told him they weren't allowed back. Go back, I can't remember, but hell, maybe that's why they're not back in some parts of Texas still. But I don't know. But again, Christy, I'm not messaging about Texas. I apologize, but I'm sure they love Texas. And yeah, I know even Fitz at one time lived in Texas. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, again, why don't they play there as much? It's what we talked about, just promoters. I mean, and they do. They hit Fort Worth a few times. I know they played the San Antonio fucking livestock rodeo something, right? So a few years back. So, but Texas is a big fucking state too. It'd
It
be
is a
like,
big state.
it'd be like, hey, they're 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 playing in Texas. It'd be like us, you in Florida,
That's
like, hey,
27 hours away,
yeah, they're playing in fucking Kentucky. Scott Hellebach. Scott, you're going to have to let me know how you pronounce it. Hlebak. Is that even? I think he spelled his last name wrong. Scott, did you spell your last name wrong? Um, Scott Hellebach. Why doesn't Jack acknowledge Mojo, and why won't he bury the hatchet with Jeff? Oh, listen. Now, me and Jack, when we have our little sewing circles, we talk about these two things. All right, Jack. I think Jack acknowledges Mojo. I mean, if you go read interviews, people have asked him about Mojo, and he talks about it. I don't think there's anything about him not acknowledging it. I mean, I guess if you want to say, well, they named their album Seven when it should have been Eight. Yeah, maybe, but I think that you're still acknowledging that it didn't exist. So I guess that's still an acknowledgement, right? I don't know. I think I don't know. Uh, I don't think Jack doesn't not acknowledge that it exists. But I guess what I'm asking is, what do you want Jack do to acknowledge it? Right? I mean, you want him to come out and play Last Chance? I mean, what I get
I
or
think I've heard an interview with him before on that, or someone asked him something. Maybe it was on one of those uh, when they were doing the signed CDs, whatever that
yeah.
interview was. That he's like, I didn't write any of those songs. Why would I play him? And I recall that line
Mhm.
specifically that he said. So I don't know if
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. And then Brad, I mean, I get, and Brad and Kelly have been on every record. So I guess it's like if they're the three guys and you're doing that poster, well, take off the record the one guy's not on, and bam, you got every record with Jack, Kelly, and Brad. So I get it on a poster and stuff. I mean, I guess maybe the Spotify thing again. I kind of gave you, I guess, my theory, you know. But I would just ask, what do you want him
Want
to
him to
do? You
acknowledge. How
know,
do you want him to acknowledge it?
so, but I
Didn't get
tell,
that. Could you try again?
no, I cannot. Shut up. Um, but I do tell people when I saw them in '96 at the Marriott Hotel. Um, it was a nice showroom though, in Owensboro, Kentucky, back when you had definitely no clue what's going on, you know. And Night Ranger's playing 6 hours away, you know, and I had found a phone number to the tour manager. How'd you get this number? Like, I called Drive Management. They gave it to me. Like, yeah, it's all original members. Like, no fucking way. And we go to this showroom in the Marriott, and I knew Watson was there because I ran into Brad and Watson before the show, like going to an elevator. So I knew Watson was there. So I'm like, okay, it's not a lie. It's it's for real. And I'm sitting there, the lights go down, and the music starts, like, you know, like the music that for them to come out on stage. And it was that bass modulation at the beginning of Mojo. Dun, 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 dun,
Hmm.
dun. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then all of a sudden they come out and play Touch of Madness or something. But Jack did come out to the beginning of Mojo. Um, but but yeah, Scott, and then why does he bury the hatchet with Jeff? Well, listen, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's in their press release. They said there's three, you know, two versions. Three got people's versions match. One person's doesn't. Um, so I don't know. I mean, that's I guess between them. I would just say, just like with anything in any relationship, I think you get to a certain point in your life. Um,
Where
I'm
you can work
happy.
with some people and you can't work with others.
I'm happy, and I don't want to work with someone that makes me unhappy. I guess I would ask, you know, you, Scott. I mean, who in your family are you still married to your wife from '82? You know, are you still working with the people you worked at with in 1988? You know, I don't know. Um, but again, I guess I just put it as it would be different if, okay, I bury the hatchet with someone and it's going to add 500 seats to our venue. My life can be a little bit miserable if all that's going to go up, but
It's not.
no one's holding out. No one's, I'm not going to Night Ranger because of Jeff Watson. Maybe one per show. Maybe. But it just, at this point, and that's not unique with Night Ranger. I mean, think about Quiet Riot. Quiet Riot tours, and you have Rudy Sarzo. That's it. Molly Hatchet tours, and there ain't a motherfucker that's been there on any of those old records. Like, I think the one guy was there in '87. So again, it just doesn't matter really who's in the band. Now, I mean, you can argue a little bit, Night Ranger, right? I mean, if Jack Blades leaves, you're going to take a hit. Don't get me wrong. But that Shield, you know, you'd be surprised how many people in the crowd that is that the original singer? Is that a new? They don't fucking. They just went to go see Night Ranger and drink beer. Rita Garcia, very proud to say that on January 18th, I'll be a fan of Night Ranger for 25 years. Holy shit. She knows the exact date. Rita, you did not do enough drugs. I'm not only grateful and thankful for the music from the past 43 years, but I'm super grateful and thankful for this podcast. Oh, I love, look, Rita, fucking love you, man. Now, if you follow this up in these next sentences about why don't they play more Night Rangers instead of Damn Yankees, I'm gonna be pissed. All right. Very super grateful and thankful for this podcast. Rita, I love you. Rita, send me a private message. I'm going to send you some stuff. Autograph Josh's office at 8x10, some other things. Um, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Thanks for bringing us Night Ranger fans a podcast we truly didn't we know we needed. It's probably Andy's probably trademarked that line. I love that guy. This is a great page and an awesome family. Yeah, it is. I mean, like what Dave was saying. Now, I'm going to go to Night Ranger show by myself. Oh, no, there's all kinds of, people, and
And
I,
especially if you go in the same areas, the same people are there. It's
Mhm.
all the Florida people are at all the Florida shows. It's not like
And it's growing. Like I'm still meeting new people. I mean, technically, I probably meet new people for the fifth time because I'm very bad at a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I tell people you've got to like bring up something specific, like, oh yeah, we had lunch at that fish place. Like, yeah, fucking, tasted like chicken. Remember that place. So, but yeah, Rita, thank you. See, more people should be like Rita. Just
I
fucking
agree.
positive, positive. Who gives, fucking positive. Rita, I love you. Sandy Hannes, Josh Christopherson. That's my name. You know what's funny is so many people really think that's my name. Like Carl, front of house sound Night
Hmm.
Ranger guy. I went to go see him when he was doing Richie Kotzen. I'll get you a ticket. You're on the guest list. I fucking go, I'm on the list, Josh Weaver. No, you're not on there. Like, fuck. Like, no, I know. I just fucking talked to him. No. I'm like, I started thinking, like, is there a Josh Christopherson on there? And
Sure enough.
sure enough, I'm like, listen, I show him my Facebook page. I'm like, listen, this is me. My ID doesn't match, um, yeah. So, but Josh Christopherson, this may not be allowed. But learning that Carrie has aces in the L's, enjoys great beer, I love to gift all the guys a genuine brew from one of our breweries in Hayes, Kansas. Hey, I'll tell you a story about Hayes, Kansas, motherfucker. Let me tell you this. How in the world can I see that they receive is something? All right. Um, your best bet is to find a show that I'm going to be at, and I can arrange to get it to them. We're not going to mail it to them. I'm not. I'm unfortunately not giving out Blade's address to get some beer. Levy may fall for it, but um, I would say, Sandy, I don't know where you're at. I think you just bought an Eric Levy package, so I guess I would have your address. But just get a hold of me. We'll figure something out, right? Um, but we'll make it happen. I may take a beer off the top for, uh, you know,
Commission,
yeah. And then breweries
finder's
from
fee.
Hayes, Kansas. So Hayes, Kansas. You ever driven through Kansas and Colorado?
I've never driven through Kansas and Colorado. I've
All
been
right,
to
don't.
Kansas and Colorado, but I've never driven through
All
there.
right. So when I was in my early 20s, me and my buddy drove straight from Columbus, Ohio to Las Vegas, 29 hours. All right. 6 hour shifts. Kansas, driving through Kansas, like it's basically like a big cornfield and they just paved a road through it. So I'm driving through Kansas in the middle of the night and there's no turns. It's just fucking cornfields. Jesus fucking Christ. Trying to stay, driving an 87 Chevrolet Celebrity. And you hit Kansas City, driving there, you go, okay, hey, fucking 100 miles to fucking Dayton, 70 miles to Indianapolis, Bloomington, St. Louis, it's just like big city after big city. It's like Kansas City, it's like 197 to Hayes, right? And it's just a straight fucking line. And I'm just like, I cannot wait to just see Hayes, right? I just remember I'm almost to Hayes and there was a curve in the road. I just about jacked off. I was so fucking happy to see a curve in the road. And I just remember I got to Hayes and like the city limits signs, I think were back to back. It was like, I'm in Hayes. I'm out of Hayes. And like the next big city was Denver, 500 miles away. And I'm like, you got to be fucking shitting me.
So it wasn't a town. It was
I
just
don't know, man. They got a brewery there, I guess. But I just remember like, so I tell people, first of all, if people talk about how beautiful Colorado is, you're talking about everything west of Denver. Everything east of fucking Colorado sucks. All right. If you want to torture someone, drive fucking Kansas City to fucking Denver with Hayes in the middle. Fucking hate Hayes. You know what? That brewery better be good. Sandy,
You should get 2 beers because of
I'm
that.
getting PTSD from your mention of Hayes. I thought it was a good story until I started saying it. But
It just
yeah,
pissed you off, right?
yeah, but everybody should drive cross country at least once so they get their Hayes story. Debbie Eaton Daniels. Is there a story behind why Jeff Watson started singing back up in concert when the original members came back together in 1996? Does the band plan on releasing new music in the next 2 or 3 years? Well, the new music next 2 or 3 years, that's a good span. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. The story behind Jeff Watson singing back. I remember as a kid just watching Night Ranger and it's like Jeff didn't sing. And another thing, I just thought about this watching the 85 video was on or something the other day. Do you remember Brad's microphone stand in the 80s? A little,
I
it was a little unique. Brad's microphone stand, instead of being straight like this, it came up and then it was like this, and the microphone was here. Go watch it. Go look at his microphone stand back then. So his mic stands like this. And I was like, I know I need to ask him that. Why did you change? Why did you go to a regular mic stand when back in the 80s, watch his videos, it's angled. It goes up and then it angles. Um, I don't know, but at one time, Debbie, I remember thinking that, whoa, Jeff's got a mic now. Why? No, no. Only thing I could think of is maybe, okay, we need a bigger sound. Hmm, okay, Jeff, let's just throw a mic in here and it could be a little bit of maybe you're a little bit older and you got a little bit more confidence. Back then, oh, maybe I'm not a good singer. I just want to do guitar. You guys do it. And then, all right, maybe I don't have such a bad voice. Maybe he realized doing Mother's Army that he had a decent voice and I can do the backups. You know what? Let's try it. I don't know. Again, all speculation, but good observation there. Emily Medler, what is your favorite song to play live now versus your favorite song to play in the 80s? Well, when I was in the 80s, one of my favorite songs to play live in front of my grandparents was I Want to Be Like You, ooh, ooh, I Want to Talk Like You, Walk Like You. That was my favorite song.
and now.
Same thing.
Oh, okay.
So, uh, Emily, I'd have to get with the guys and ask them that. I apologize. Uh, I don't even know how to lie to answer that song. That one. Um, Robin Craig. Do Jack and Brad have any plans to wear shorts again during the 2025 gigs? That was in reference to the Delaware show where it was like 180 fucking degrees, and I knew it was hot. I've seen Brad in shorts back in the early 2000s, but when
He
Ed
always
said,
wore shorts in those Mojo or pre-Mojo.
well, yeah, yeah, but yeah, I guess a lot of people wore, that was kind of a thing. I mean, if you watch even like Metallica and them, they were doing that stuff. Even Motley Crue had the jean shorts and stuff in some of those photos, but yeah, it was like 180 degrees. Jack and Brad both wearing shorts. I've never seen Jack in shorts. That's when Ed sent that photo. I was like, it's got to be fucking hot. But yeah, Robin. If if they're wearing shorts, it's not
It's
good.
sweltering.
Patrick Fitzgerald. When is the Brad Gillis solo album coming out? See, I told you. See, Dave, told you.
I wasn't patient. I was not patient.
All right, listen, that fucking solo record is fucking awesome. I've had it since March of 2020. I fucking hammer on Brad all the time. But these guys are creative, so it's like I've got that, but now I've moved on to this, and I've heard some of this stuff from Brad. Like, "Yeah, that's cool," and then he moves on to this. And I was like, "Well, what happened to that?" And then where I had to like stop him, like, "Dude, fucking stop and release those fucking first 13 songs." I probably haven't yelled at him enough, so he's probably forgot about it again. So I don't know, Patrick. There's 20 fucking songs out there, at least that I got. Um, I wish I could share. It's good. It's the first that 13 songs. It's basically an album with Gary Moon. I think Brad sings vocals on a couple of them. Fucking just killer record. It's not Night Ranger sounding. It's heavy. I mean, it's all over the place. There's a couple ballads. There's some like like Savior, right? Savior's a Brad Gillis kind of song. It came from Brad. There's stuff like that, real funky. Breakout. That comes from Brad. There's stuff like that. Um,
Well, then you got to talk. Get on his ass then.
what am I going to do? Fucking, I just need still Bubba and like, okay, you're not getting back to your release. Um, um, the song called opening track, "Sex and the Money." I fucking just remember I was with somewhere and like sound check. I think Brad was the only one there, and he just starts playing that riff. I'm like, I fucking know that riff, and I was just, so I just, guys, I wish just it's fucking good. Um, I think the thing you'll hear next is the thing that he teased with the Ozzy Osbourne band, Tommy, Rudy himself, I can't remember his name, but a big singer in Canada. He's got a huge following, and they did. I can't tell you. uh, uh, I just see the old people like shishing myself. Uh, um, yeah, it's cool, but um, uh, yeah. Um, I saved myself an edit. So yeah, Patrick, I don't know, man. I just now listen, there used to be a Rudy Sarzo radio show on some fucking app or something. And Brad was on there back in 2020 and he played two songs on that. You guys can go back and find Darker Than Blue, I think was one. Probably not. I probably just revealed a song title. But I think it was. If not, there you go. But he played two songs. Um, I'm pretty sure I know the other one, but I'm afraid that that's wrong too. Um, I think it was Gun for Hire. But anyways, those are out there. If you can find it, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Rudy. Um, but 2020 radio show, Brad's on there. Patrick Fitzgerald doubles it up. Why is tomorrow or dance a single?
Why is not tomorrow a dancer? So that's probably
I
what.
think that's what I would. Now, tomorrow technically was. They released Breakout, had a video for it. The next single
Bring
was
it all home to me.
Bring It All Home to Me. And then they just had the visual video for tomorrow.
No, it wasn't for tomorrow.
It was.
It was for the ballad.
Mm,
They released three songs.
think you're wrong, buddy.
They
All right,
released
hold on. I don't know if I don't think.
Breakout, Bring It All Home, and Can't Afford a Hero. Three songs.
No, I definitely know it's not Can't Afford a Hero. It was tomorrow was tomorrow was it was tomorrow.
All right, all
Yeah.
right,
All
all
right,
right.
there we go. Someone figured because when you said the ballad, I was thinking the hardest road. And I'm
No,
like,
it was the other ballad that they released.
no,
They released three songs before the album came out.
no, no.
God, I feel 100% about that.
All right, we will find out.
But trust me, if tomorrow was released, I would have. There's my well,
Well, tomorrow I thought was I tell Kelly that I know he likes it. That tomorrow is a track that a lot of people love. Um, and yeah, it's probably my favorite song. I like Dan's. I mean, uh,
no, tomorrow. Even from the first time I heard that song,
yeah,
tomorrow was
yeah, Dan's. I mean, to me, that album is, I think, like top heavy, bottom heavy, like Coming for You, fucking love. Track two, I don't know what it is. I think I skipped it. Track three, Breakout. Fucking love. Track four, eh. Even though it does mention cocaine. Um, Track five, Can't Afford a Hero. Okay. Track six, Cold as December. Yeah. Track seven, Dance. Yeah. Um, The Hardest Road. Yeah.
We're
Um,
gonna, yeah, we're gonna be at odds on this one, I think.
Monkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky Man. Yeah. Not as bad song to me. It's Shaw Blades more than anything. I'm listening to Night Ranger, and then Tomorrow. Yeah. So those are my songs. The other ones would be at the bottom half. Not that just like I said, Lucky Man, I enjoy. Bringing It Home All to Me, it's all right. I like it, but it's not my top. So why is Tomorrow Dance not a single? Well, I mean, I think you can make an argument for a lot. Obviously Tomorrow, we already talked about it. Dance, I think Dance worked. I think it's just, I think,
Dance grabbed me in the beginning, and then it would just like fizzled out for me.
yeah, I think there's a lot of people who either loved it or hated it. When will they release the two record store day release on iTunes? There may be something in the works, Patrick. That's all I can tell you, brother. And he's talking about the iTunes, the right here. Come on, motherfucker. This is what Patrick's talking about.
Free and wasted time. However, those side descriptions aren't accurate.
Yeah, labels are on the wrong side. Even though this is on green vinyl, and that is me, by the way.
I remember you telling.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, what color we want to do? Red, blue, or green?" I'm like, you know what? We did blue and red on ATBPO. Why don't we do green on the single? And there we go. Not even a Josh Christopherson mention anywhere. So that's what he's asking. This 45 released as a record store day release, and you can't get these digitally. When you can, I'm saying something's in the works. Ooh, Patrick, he leaves with this one. What really happened to the Jeff Watson fiasco? Well, listen, when I'm 80, come sit with me on my front porch. Listen, I don't think it's anything. People just disagree, don't want to work with each other. I think that's what it boils down to. You can listen, you can find Jeff's statement, and you can find the guy's statement. And honestly, that's their business, and it's not for me to say. And I can give you my thoughts on it. Just I think, you know, there's just, and I've gotten that way as I've gotten older. I've had friends I've had for decades, and it's just like, you know what? This is kind of either
This is
a
work. It's work.
it's a one-sided relationship for, and maybe I've had people the same with me, like, hey, you know what? I don't think I want to talk to you, hang out with you anymore. I don't know. I mean, who knows? But uh, it's a business, and again, I just ask, people, who are you working with from 1987 that or think about your friends. Think about your friends from 1988. How many of them are you still, hanging out with? And then you're not really working with them. So just, hey, man, people move on, and just, when you're older, I don't want to deal with it anymore. Allison Stars. I know the band sticks to more popular songs they have created because more people will know those songs, but every once in a while they throw in lesser known songs. But is there a specific reason they never put anything off ATBPO on the set list? It wasn't commercials or other albums, but it's an amazing album nonetheless. Well, with most of the records, I mean, their songs last about 2 years. Somewhere in California, you had Lay It On Me, somewhere in California, and then those disappeared. I mean, somewhere in California, it kind of lingers sometimes in there.
High Road.
at High Road. You had the
High Road.
title track, High Road. They played St. Bartholomew and some others, but um,
And they still play High Road.
High Road is something that really, even though it's a new song, Jack does such a great way of getting the fans into it.
Into it. Yep. I
Um,
agree.
Don't Let Up, they played different songs off of it, Day and Night and stuff like that,
Somehow, Someway was opening
and
track for a while.
yeah, and that was just because it was just a good groove, and they were able to kind of get a good groove together with that song. So it's not uncommon for songs just to go away like ATBPO. I think one thing that hurt ATBPO was it was released, I mean, recorded during the COVID and everything, and not that everything had really opened up, but I mean, it was somewhat opened up by August of 21 when that was released. Um, I do know when I was with them, Harris, Michigan, at sound check, they did attempt to do Breakout, but they had forgotten it. Uh, they attempted to do Somewhere in California. I had to, well, I don't know if I told this. I was sitting. I think I posted a small video of them doing something, so you can see where I was sitting, right up front. And I try not to record their sound check. That's them, but it was like they were doing maybe Somewhere in California. It's like, I'll do a little recording of this, post on the page for people. And that breakdown, da 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 do, Beverly Hill, whatever, that line, that part.
Hmm.
And they stopped, and Jack looks at me and goes, "What's the lines to that?" And he looks at me. I don't fucking know. He's like, "You're the fucking Night Ranger guru." I'm well, lyrics number one aren't my big thing, but so me and Jack had to put it up on our phones and like whatever the hills, I forget, but we had to find that line. But anyways, so they have attempted to play Breakout and Somewhere in California, but Allison, they did do Breakout for probably a good year. They did try to bring it all home to me. And as much as you think maybe that song would go over well live, it didn't quite.
And I would think that it would have. I mean, I never saw it live, so other than like a post or something, but
And then what was the other one?
coming for you.
Coming for You, which we talked about. They opened the show with, it didn't quite do well. And then they attempted to do Dance. They tried to get it going during sound checks, and it just never quite got there. And I think then they moved on to something else. So not sure if that answers it, Allison, but yeah, I mean, you know, we got a few songs from it. Patrick Fitzgerald, man, this guy. Why don't they have Gary Moon open a tour and play Mojo in its entirety? Uh, I go over lead fucking balloon. Well, one, how many more seats is that going to sell? What are you going to have to pay him? I mean, you know, you're going to have to pay him, and you got to pay. He's going to have expenses. I mean, I would love for it to trust me. I would fucking love this. Be like, hey, all right, we'll pay you. Just hop on the bus, right, and just sleep on one of the bunks. Yeah, I'd be a fly, Jack Blades, Gary Moon, the bus, fucking A. But but let's just say, okay, you're going to be an opening act. Well, I mean, he's going to need a band. Is he going to do acoustic? If he's in a band, you got to hire drummer, guitar. You're going to have a couple techs. You got to have a vehicle. I mean, you're not going to be able to make a profit unless, I mean, you're not even going to break even unless you probably got 3 or 4 thousand bucks a show. That's not making any fucking money either.
Nope.
So, and you're not really bringing in much extra tickets with that. So why is Night Ranger going to give $4,000 up a show for an opener? I mean, out of the kindness of their hearts to please us? Yeah. It's a good way to not
Yeah,
be in the
they
music
should. But that's
music
that's yeah, that's the
music
music business.
business. It's not music friends, it's music business. And uh, so don't get me wrong, Patrick, that'd be fucking great, but you know, just doesn't work out. Be interesting, you know.
That would be an interesting.
Um, and then fuck, we'll just bring him up and sing a couple songs with us, at the end of the show. He's here. Um, Patrick Fisher, why don't they redo Wrong Again for a Night Ranger record? Wrong Again was a Mojo era Night Ranger song. Um, it was not on the Mojo record. It was on the original four tape demo. Uh, and
With a song that I wish was on Mojo that was on there. Yeah. What was it?
and it eventually ended up on Kelly Kagey's Time Passes record. Well, why wasn't they not re-recorded? I think you got to go into the creative minds, and I don't think it has anything to do with, okay, you're recording it with Jack Kelly now. I think it's just like as if you're creative, you work on something and you do it, and then it's done, and you work on something else. I think that's just the way they work. Like, okay, we're going to do a new record. Very rarely, especially nowadays, do you go back to old ideas. I mean, Night Ranger has done it. They did Hang On. Hang On was the chorus is from their first demo tape. So can it be done? Yeah, kind of. Um, it was more common in the 80s, 70s, and 80s when you were just putting out an album every year or every 2 years. When you're putting out that type of product, all right, what do we got? Okay, well, we need about three more songs. Well, what about that little clinker we were using, in the last time? Well, let's try to redo it. I just think, okay, we need to do 10 songs. Let's not rehash old songs. Um, and then why would they rehash a song that Jack didn't have anything in? I think they would look at it as, we could do better than that now. We got 30 years on us. We definitely can write better than that. I mean, think about whatever you're creative in and go back and look at your work you did in 1992 and read, if you're a writer or whatever, and look at that stuff. Oh God, that fucking sucks. What was I thinking? It's like, who wants to go back? I don't know. I mean, Patrick, I'm going to ask Jack all these questions. Um, Two more questions. One of them's from Patrick.
The Patrick Fitzgerald wants to know podcast.
What they do? Would they do a show utilizing fan favorite songs? Again, I mean, I think we kind of discussed that. I mean, a fan favorite, if you just talk about fans, I mean, I think anybody who goes to a Night Ranger show is a fan. And unless, you're dragging a broad who doesn't know anything about it.
I think he means a die-hard favorite is what
Well,
he's.
I mean, I think anybody who goes to a show is a fan, and you're going to hear Sister, Die Hard. Well, you make a show for diehards, you're going to die hard. You're going to be playing to 10 people fucking rocking out to, Kiss Me Where It Hurts. Uh, I don't know, man. Again, I mean, are you going to learn 10 hardcore favorite songs, rehearse them for days and days, get them down to play to a theater where 95% of the people don't know them and just stand there? Just don't think it's going to happen. Call me crazy. Last one, Mike Smith. Any plans to do another Dawn of Madness tour or something similar with different albums? Man, I've thrown stuff out there. I even said, hey, 40th anniversary of Dawn Patrol. Don't just play the full album. And then the 40th anniversary of Midnight Madness, play the full album. You don't have to add a lot of songs. I mean, fuck, you already played 5 songs off Dawn Patrol. You know, I mean, just and then Midnight Madness. You don't have to play them both back to back. I mean that's like a lot. Then do Midnight Madness. I mean, you're already playing 5 or 6 songs off that record. There's only 9 songs on the record, and then like the in '84, 2024, then maybe you do a Dawn of Madness, right? And then in 2025, you do 40 Years of Seven Wishes. And then 2026, 2007, you do a big ass farewell tour or something, right? And then 2028, whoops, we're coming back. And you wheel their asses back out there. That was always my thing. So I honestly I don't know if the venues really liked, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the promoters liked it. This is me speculating, but
The Dawn of Madness.
Dawn of Madness because I don't
It
know if
was it
like
was a specialized
well,
show.
I think hey, Night Ranger's playing. And I think sometimes, and I think maybe it has more to do with other groups. Oh, Stephen Piercy's playing all of Out of the Cellar. That's great. But for the people who are just your general Rat fans, they don't know all of Out of the Cellar, you know? Um, and I think some venues look at when they do those like a full album. I think sometimes they're maybe a little shy on it because maybe they don't sell as well. And if you notice, I don't know. Have you seen a lot of them lately? I mean, have you seen playing the whole album in its entirety? I haven't seen a lot of, and I think that's some of the reason why it's like, yeah, your hardcores love it, but if you're just, hey, I like Judas Priest, oh, they're playing fucking rock and roll Coca-Cola or whatever, rock and roll. Yeah, I might skip that one. Um, you know, so I don't know. That's just me
A few years
speculating.
back, I saw Jeff Tate do Rage for Order and Empire in its entirety, but that was a small theater. Those were specialized shows.
Yeah, and those are albums, like are concept albums.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just noticed like the trend has kind of gone away, and I can tell you if a trend makes money, it doesn't become a trend. It's a staple, and I just don't see it anymore. So I don't know. I mean,
Josh, basically the general population wants the hits.
yeah. I
And
mean,
that's what's filling
you
the
know what?
arenas. That's what's filling.
I tell you a group to go see if most people would be like that is Cheap Trick. I go see Cheap Trick and I know half their songs. They don't play half of the songs I know. They're playing, I know some deep tracks. Like, oh, that's kind of cool, I didn't think I'd hear that off Dream Police record. And I look around and I'm about me and 10 other people are kind of cool with it. But I'm not a big enough Cheap Trick fan to know, okay, here's track 8 off their 1982 record. And like, the song, If You Want My Love, You
Yeah.
Got It. Like, I've seen Cheap Trick 3 times, 4 times. They've played that once. It's like, and I give them, I mean, credit. I mean, okay, we're not going to play some of our biggest hits. They'll play Surrender. They'll play, I Want You to
Want you
Want
to
Me.
want me.
But like, what's the other? I mean, they have some other big songs from the 80s. What was the one came out in 84? Fucking real catchy
She's
mother.
she's tight.
No, give me a second. We got to find this out now. Um, real um
Real
uh
what?
real catchy um
Tonight it's you.
yes. Yeah, I mean
My favorite
I won't say real catchy, but a really different kind of structure, right? Uh
my favorite Cheap Trick song.
yes, that song. I don't know if they've ever played that when I've seen them. But I've heard track 9 off of, whatever the first, um, so, and I get that. A lot of people I talk to about Cheap Trick, it's like, yeah, they're okay. Yeah, I wanted to hear this, I hear that. It's just like, but they're out there doing what they want to do, right? And it's somewhat working for them. I mean, they're opening for a shit ton of bands. Who are they opening for? Like Steve Miller and Journey on the latest arena thing. So,
Yeah, but Josh, on the old Trick in Motion podcast fan page, there are people complaining about the set list there too.
oh yeah. Think about this 10 years. So 10 years ago was 2015. That's before, that's after High Road, after Somewhere in California. All right. In that same amount of time, let's just do Don't Let Up. Don't Let Up's 8 years ago. In that same amount of time, Kelly's going to be 80, in his 80s. Jack's going to be pushing 80. Brad will be in his mid 70s, backside of 70s. That's from Don't Let Up to now. That's Don't Let Up seems like yesterday. That's a good name for a song. Uh, but yeah, in that same amount of time, they're going to be in their 80s. So yeah, I'm enjoying every minute. I'm enjoying every minute because one, what I just said. Two, I could be fired tomorrow. I'm fine with it. I mean, I, I have seen people come and go, where I'm like the old guy kind of, and I'm just like, I'm next. I got to be next. Just it's how it happens. And listen, I'm cool. If all this ends tomorrow, I'm happy. I can put my Midnight Madness on the turntable. I got some stories. Motherfuckers, grab some rocking chairs, track me down when I'm 80. All right, hey Dave, that's it. Unless someone's adding some more, but I'm not reading them. How
I
long are we on
think
here? 5 hours?
uh we're we're getting up there on 4 hours,
Can't be 4 hours. I have to make this
three
a
and a half hours.
two-parter, man. There you go, guys. Listen, again, we've got Eric Levy shirts with the Fans of Motion shirts, VIP meet and greet, phone meet and greet. Get those. Got Fans of Motion, Dawn Patrol shirts. Get that. Carrie Kelly, Evolve, Metal Warrior. Go do all that. Um, what else, man? Listen, Facebook. Go to Facebook.
That's where it's all at.
Fans in Motion. Night Ranger. Click join. Go to Instagram. After you hit Evolve, Brewing, Aces and Nails, Girls with Big Boobies. After you look at all that, go to Fans in Motion. Click like or is it like on Instagrams. On
It's heart on Instagrams.
Twitters. Go to Twitter. Have a political debate. And then go to Fans in Motion. Click follow. Even threads. It's kind of going. Go find Night Ranger on there. And or Fans of Motion too. All right, Dave. How you feel? How you feel? Podcast world.
Hey, broke in. I'm broken in already.
Before you know it, you'll be signing men's chess
That's right. I already I already bought my markers. I already bought my Sharpies
and
for it.
you'll be doing autographed 8x10s. Need to get yourself your Marlins hats, sign, you have it become part of your identity. I sell these 99.99, to my biggest fan, Josh Stopperson. You bought one a couple years ago, so. All right, man. Well, thank you to everybody listening to us talk Night Ranger. We will see or talk or hear, whatever. I'm delirious, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you are.
And I can't find the button. We'll talk to y'all soon. Later.